One. Also, we are on Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and we are on MixTV.tv. And we say good morning to all of you here on this Tuesday morning, the 19th day of July. What's wrong with TV? Is it frozen? Or am I just not seeing it? Well, I guess we're frozen. All right. Welcome in, everybody, and we welcome you now to a special broadcast, and this is what we started doing in May. We are welcoming the candidates in for the August 4th election. It is, of course, a state and federal primary here in the volunteer state. Of course, we do have one local general election for Cleveland Board of Education. I want to begin this morning with this note. We call this the Mix 1041, MixTV.tv debate series. And we invite all the candidates in for these morning debates. So this morning, it's going to be a little different. We invited both candidates for the 9th Senatorial District. They are Mark Hall, State Representative Mark Hall, and Dr. Adam Lowe. Mark Hall declined our invitation. So I want to put that out here in the very beginning to let you know that we, in fact, did invite Representative Hall to be with us this morning. He and his campaign declined. So I do want to thank Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory, Ralph and Shari. Of course, going back to Ralph Sr. and Stella, are big believers, big believers in the civic landscape, and they've always supported us. So I want to bring in now Dr. J. Adam Lowe. And Adam, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
I appreciate you joining us.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. We've tried to be present in every instance on the campaign trail in all 4 counties, which is now the new Senate District 1. Formerly Senate District 9.
So I said it wrong, is what you're saying.
Well, Steve, it's a team effort.
Well,
together we come. See, this is the thing. It's just why we do the debate series. Together we come to better information, don't we? So
it's Senate District 1.
Senate District 1.
I apologize.
That's
well,
fine.
No, I don't, because I'm going to get something wrong. So now I'll change all my notes. All right. So Adam, and by the way, we are going to handle this as a debate. So let me tell you how we're going to do this. We're gonna have a 2-minute opening statement. I will ask Adam questions. He'll have 2 minutes to respond, and then a 2-minute closing statement. So, Adam, you've got a 2-minute opening statement.
Well, thanks to Mix 104 WCLE. For many years, Talk 101.3 The Buzz was a home to me with Men Up America, where we faced very difficult issues. We were on the air during the pandemic, and was glad to be a voice for this community and conservative ideas during those trying times. Thank you to Ralph Buckner Funeral Home for sponsoring this, and thank you for continuing forward. You know, we've seen a pattern of people continually hide from answering questions in this campaign. And in this campaign season, and it's nice that some people have still allowed the forum for some questions to be answered, even if I'm the only one answering them. So I'll say this: Senator Mike Bell is retiring from what used to be Senate District 9 here in Bradley County, McMinn County, Meigs, and it went a different direction than it does now. And so it's his seat. And if there was something that we know about Mike Bell, is what Mike Bell did well was Mike went to Nashville and Mike came home. Mike came home to a family, he came home to his business, he came home to his church, he came home to this community. And I believe that those roots, those family values that Mike Bell possessed, made him a great senator. Because as someone who's watched Mike over the past 16 plus years, the thing that he did so great were the things that never made the front page of the paper. They weren't the photo ops. They weren't the things that made you feel fuzzy. They were on page 18. They related to your private property rights. They related to your freedoms and your liberties. They related to good financial management. And a lot of that was because he never went to Nashville to earn the approval of Nashville. He wanted to keep the approval back home. So it's a privilege to be here today. Thank you so much. And I will say a little plug. Pick up a Good News magazine. We've got a great article in there this month in July about our family. So pick up Good News.
All That's incredible that you would now hold up product.
Well, Matt Ruckman paid me tremendously in attaboys.
Well, I hope you put that on the campaign statement.
Do that to you, Steve.
Thank you very much. No, that's very. Okay, so first question, and again, 2 minutes to respond. Why are you running? Why did you want to do this?
I'm running because during a pandemic, during a crisis, I saw a lack of leadership in Tennessee. Surprising silence when there should have been none. And we were going live on Man Up America, and I stood against mandates. I stood against shutdowns. At the time, that was not very popular. Horrible things were said about me and my family. Horrible, horrible things. Now, in hindsight, we realize that that was the measured approach, that the states who yielded earlier to conservative economic ideas have fared better on the back end of this because we absolutely destroyed our economy during that season. And some of our leaders allowed that to happen. Now, Tennessee eventually came around, but we still saw some picking and choosing of favorites during that time. In Tennessee, because it's so Republican and it's so red, we have a lot of conservatives who are conservative by convenience and not by conviction. And it's easy to be conservative in this town. Not so easy in other states. So we often have the time we have to parse through situations who really believes what they espouse and what they say and who doesn't. And the pandemic, the crisis was a really good time to show people's true colors. So that was one of the big reasons that prompted me to consider this when Mike decided to step away, because Mike was one of the good guys and losing him was dramatic. Couple that with the fact that I have a family. I have 4 kids. They were in school. We had to figure out what we were going to do when schools were closed. I closed a business in a pandemic because our state government picked favorites in how they reopened businesses. I had to deal with the things that families dealt with during that crisis, and I've had to deal with the consequences of that behavior thereafter. So that's the reason I ran. I ran because we need more family values and more family consideration in government, and we just lost an amazing champion in that regard.
All right, you are listening to Mix 104.1. You're watching MixTV.tv. We're on Talk 101.3 The Buzz. Another question, and of course this is our debate series.
I'll debate you, Steve.
With the state senate. Well,
I'm debating all the Facebook trolls,
okay.
So we can. What's different?
with the state senate debate this morning. By the way, state house debate on this broadcast tomorrow morning at the same time, 8 o'clock. Roe v. Wade. Okay, so the United States Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. Sends it back to the states. All right. If elected as a state senate, we know that at the state level, it's going to be the enforcement of the law of the land in Tennessee. Now, I interviewed the governor a few weeks ago. There's still some clarity that's lacking as far as potential what to do about the abortion pills, as they call them, these chemical abortions that may come across state lines, the enforcement of that. Prosecuting mothers. Prosecuting doctors. What do you make of the overall scenario here? And if you were elected state senate, what would you be looking at here?
Well, the Supreme Court absolutely made the right decision. Regardless of how you feel about the issue of abortion, this was not a federal issue. And even Ruth Bader Ginsburg argued that, said it was a law or a ruling based on really, uneasy foundation. And so eventually the Supreme Court got it right. They sent it back to the states. Now, here in Tennessee, we've been very proactive at protecting life. I worked tremendously for Yes on 1, that amendment that's now part of our Constitution. We've got the trigger law that goes into effect, but you're right, there's some clarity that's got to take place. There's going to be a conversation with district attorneys on how this has got to be prosecuted, because Tennessee Right to Life and other organizations have been very clear, no one wants to criminalize women. We know that the issue of pregnancy is very challenging, creates a lot of distress for females who are pregnant, who maybe had an unplanned pregnancy. And no one wants to demonize that. But there is an attention towards providers, people who intentionally go out and offer this illegal service, just like we would look at any other issue with someone providing an illegal service. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to prosecute that when we prosecute it. And it's going to take a conversation with those on the legal side, with the judiciary, and figuring out how we're going to move forward. It may require some tinkering with the law to make sure that they have teeth in how they prosecute and clarity and consistency across the board. You already have district attorneys saying they want it all, and that's going to be a violation of their oath of office, and it's going to take censure from the legislature to remove those people. That being said, the biggest challenge we're going to face on the backside of this is more children, right? We're going to see an influx in foster care. The pregnancy centers are going to need help in aiding women through pregnancy, making them feel empowered, knowledgeable, and capable. And those are problems we asked for. So when we see the influx of foster children, let's be reminded this is the problem we wanted. They're alive.
All right, we're going to take a break right here. You're listening to Mix 104.1. You're watching us on mixtv.tv, listening on Talk 101.3 The Buzz. This is our debate series. We brought it back. We started this in May for the local elections and now for the state and federal elections. We're doing this this week. Again, tomorrow, we're going to have our state representative Republican primary candidates tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. But here's another reminder. Jimmy Logan will have them tonight at Cleveland State Community College as part of the Cleveland Lions Club debate series, Bradley County Bar Association, that started in 1972. You can hear that here on Mix 104.1 at 6:30 tonight, live from Cleveland State. That's the state representative candidates. The four candidates will be there, and on the Republican side, and then we'll have that on mixtv.tv. Mix Mornings is served by Taziki's. Bridget, let's get an update. Tell me what's happening with Taziki's.
Well, at Taziki's, kids eat free every Tuesday throughout the summer from 5 p.m. until close, dine-in only. So again, this is the rest of the summer, every Tuesday at Taziki's. They have different activities each week, and so tonight it's Puppies on the Patio at the SPCA. They have partnered with them, so head on out to Taziki's
Sounds
tonight.
like Emmendorfer's going to go home with a bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out, Brad Emmendorfer?
So head on out to Taziki's, again, 5 p.m. till close, dine-in only tonight.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Gas prices are down nearly 50 cents a gallon now over the last month. White House economic advisor Jared Bernstein.
At current prices, the average American driver will spend about $25 per month less on gasoline than they would have if prices had stayed at their June peak.
Gas prices had the biggest 12-month spike since 1981. Witnesses at Thursday's hearing of the House committee investigating the Capitol riot are expected to testify about what President Trump did and did not do that day.
AP reports sources say former Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger and former press aide Sarah Matthews will be testifying. Both resigned immediately after the violence broke out. Previous hearings have said White House staffers were begging the then president to tell the rioters to leave, but he didn't take action for more than 3 hours.
Fox's Jill Nato in Washington. Thursday's prime time hearing starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. America's listening to Fox News.
This news brought to you by the Mark Shepard Agency of Shelter Insurance. Call 910-9393. 910-9393.
At Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory, the tradition was founded by Ralph and Stella Buckner and continued by Ralph Buckner Jr. and his wife, Shari Buckner. Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory is a tradition of service. Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory, caring for Cleveland families whenever they need them. Visit ralphbuckner.com.
At some point in your life, you may be faced with a legal challenge, whether it be a personal injury, business dispute, or family matter. Our goal is to overcome your legal obstacles and get your life back on track.
If you or a loved one have been injured or have legal issues confronting you and your family, talk with someone on our team. We will investigate your problem to determine the facts and the law. Working together, we can develop a plan to obtain the result you deserve.
My dad says our new Linux system saves energy.
Well, saving energy means saving money.
A lot of money?
Yep.
Time for a raise in my allowance.
Savings year after year.
A big raise.
Call today for perfect air you can feel in your home and savings you can feel in your wallet.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Call Dale's Heating and Air today.
Math and spelling and all that. And Rodney's is Rodney still employed, by the way?
Yes, he
still
is.
The executive director?
Yes.
We think he's the first Cleveland native, no kidding, to ever be the executive director of the YMCA.
Yes.
And the last. Anyway. All right, it is 8:23. Back in a moment.
Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland wants to buy your vehicle.
Need a metal roof for your home or business? Come see us at Best Buy Metals, a leading manufacturer of metal roofing products. Looking for great service? Check. Want to choose from a wide variety of metal roofing products? Check. How about complimentary takeoffs and free estimates for commercial and residential projects? Check and check. From small orders to semi-loads, we've got you covered. Literally. Best Buy Metals. Quality roofing that lasts a lifetime. Come see us today.
Hey, listeners, there's a new Buzz Mondays at 9 p.m. The voice of We the People. It's about what the H is going on in America. Tune in and call in Mondays at 9 on 101.3 The Buzz. A seatbelt is required for this ride.
I am Cleveland Ford. I am Cleveland. I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Doug Vierthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford. And together, we are Cleveland Ford.
Serenity Funeral Homes. Convenient, caring, affordable. Cleveland's most affordable funeral home. Completely remodeled. Offering cremations as low as $5.95. Funerals, $15.95. SerenityofCleveland.com. When trust matters most. 99 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. It's 104.1. Good morning. MixTV.tv. Let's check our Mermaid Mattress Weather Center. Roger Pickett.
If you shop for a mattress and they tell you about some long delay because of industry shortages, come to Mermaid Mattress. Buy it today, we'll make it tomorrow, and deliver it the next day. It's all about being local.
Going over to Mermaid this morning. I got to see Debbie, and then go to Don Ledford and then Mermaid, because the Cleveland City school system, and God bless them, rightfully so, will not let me go live anymore at in-service.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
And especially Debbie with her profanity habit, and Roger and his new hair. And by the way, his new hair has its own Twitter account. I didn't know if you kind of like Angelina Jolie had her leg a few years ago at the Oscars. Anyway, so Roger sends me a text yesterday. Mm-hmm. He says, "Where are you? And when are you getting back on?" I said, "Let me tell you something, Pickett." I said, "You travel more than an airline pilot. Don't be talking to me about where I am." Good Lord.
Oh, he missed you, I guess.
Back over to you.
The only one. All right, for today, cloudy skies early in the day, scattered thunderstorms later this afternoon, a high of 86, and a low of 71 this evening. For tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy earlier in the day with a high of
there's that again.
92.
That's a promo, too, by the way. That cracked me up the other day.
Chance of scattered storms tomorrow throughout the day with a low of 74. For Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms again, a high of 94. Your current Simply Bank temperature is 73 degrees. This weather forecast is brought to you by Bradley Concrete and Lamcon Ready Mix, family-owned business serving Cleveland for over 40 years. Call them at 423-479-4541 or visit lamcon.us to find out more.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Mix 104.1, MixTV.tv, and we're on Talk 101.3 The Buzz. It is our Mix 104.1 and MixTV.tv morning debate series. We started this last May, and we are continuing this for our state and federal primary election, August 4th. Again, reminder, early voting is underway as of last Friday. Now, I said this at the top, and I'll say it here as we approach 8:30, and that is that the name of this series is a debate series. And so We wanted to kick off this morning with both candidates for the 1st District State Senate primary, and at this point, that has not been the case. We did invite State Representative Mark Hall, who is a candidate for this race, State Senate, to be with us this morning. He and his campaign declined our invitation. We continued this broadcast and continued this program, and we did invite Dr. Adam Lowe, and he is here this morning. And so we're going to pick up the questions. And I want to go to the economy, Adam, and talk about, nationally, the worldwide, the big story is inflation, the possibility of a recession. Some economists say we're already in a recession, but not from the national or world point of view, but from our state. And so you're running for state senate, and we know that a lot of our state's economic policies are made really in the state legislature. How do you view this issue? How do you view the high prices? How do you view the oncoming, if you believe it, economic doom, one would say? What do you make of the economy overall?
Well, if there's one thing, we can't outrun what's happening at a national level. Inflation hit 9.1% first of the month, which was higher than predicted, which means we are in a mode of hyperinflation. Now, those who tuned into Man Up America 3 years ago saw me do special shows on this, and I had some local advisors throw hate mail at me saying, "You're scaring people," and I said, "No, it's coming. It's going to be here." Stagflation's the thing that we look at next, and that comes in the recession period that we want to avoid. When we look at the state of Tennessee, things get a little more real with numbers. At the national level, inflation's a big issue. We do have some supply line issues. Of course, rising interest rates is always going to impact families. Rising interest rates affects how you borrow for cars, how you purchase a home, what we see there. But when we get down into the state level, the big hampering that we've seen economically has been on the small business environment. Many people are still hamstrung from the pandemic, from that crisis. You see people who are actually having to pay back PPP loans. You see people who are dealing with labor issues. They can't find the labor they need. We've been to over 60 businesses in the past few months, and I asked them all the same question: how's business? And I get one of two answers from those people. I get the answer that I've got all the business I need, but I can't find the people to help me do it. I'm working 70, 80 hours a week, and I can't get home to my family. That's one answer. The second answer is I could have all the business I wanted, but I can't get the things I need to complete the business. These back supply lines are still a problem. Even though people have been back to work, when you take 6, 9, 12 months out of the factories, out of the manufacturers, out of the warehouses, you don't recover from that in a short cycle. It takes several years to recover. So we're still seeing supply issues. We're seeing labor issues on the ground in Tennessee. And it's absolutely hurting families in addition to what we're seeing at the federal level.
We're joined by Adam Lowe, a candidate for state senate in the 1st Senatorial District, Senate District 1. And I do want to thank, once again, Ralph Buckner Funeral Home for making our debate series possible again. I want to stay with business. Tennessee has been in quite a growth period. Number one, if you're elected state senator, how would you go about continuing that with the state legislature? You're part of it. Secondarily, or maybe not secondarily, but as part of that, how do you handle growth? Well, we know there's been a lot of extra federal money through this pandemic. How do you handle it?
I've consulted a number of businesses over the past decade, and anybody will tell you there are certain cycles in growth where you can really make a mistake. All right. Scalability is the word they use in a business environment. How quick can you accommodate new needs, new business, and the infrastructure that you have in place to actually meet the demands in that business? The state is no different. The state is no different. When we bring in manufacturers, we have to provide infrastructure to those manufacturers. We have to supply a labor force to those manufacturers or to those businesses. We have to be smart. Tennessee's at the point now where we don't have to take every good thing that comes by. So what we need to be doing both in Bradley, McMinn, Meigs, and Ray County and in the state of Tennessee is we need to start picking and choosing, because you know what? We're in a position of power right now. People want to be here. They want to be here for our tax environment. They want to be here for the culture of what we provide in the workforce, what we do with families. They want to be here for all the people who want to hate on Tennessee education. They want to be here because of our education that we provide in Tennessee. So let's start picking and choosing. Let's stop giving tax abatements to electric car manufacturers in Memphis. These are cars that are going on our roads, wearing our roads out, and they don't even pay taxes to maintain the roads because the gas tax is what supports infrastructure of the roads. We very easily could have made a more strategic financial decision that benefited the taxpayers of Tennessee in that regard. Things like that are the things that Mike Bell parsed well, I believe, and the things that we're going to see going forward. We've got to start picking and choosing. We're going to have to tell some of these people, no, Tennessee's not the right place for you, and we're going to have to look at other people who align with our values and align with our culture. I love to see the gun manufacturers come into town. I love to see those kind of people that are coming here because they know that this is a conservative safe haven.
All right. Next question. I want to go, you mentioned education. That's where we're going next. And I guess my first question would just be education generally. What do you make of the state of education in this district, in this state, and what are our biggest needs? Do you feel like?
Well, I have 4 children in our school systems, and I have a wife who works as an assistant principal in those systems. As a parent, I feel great about education. I feel great about what my children are receiving at their local high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools. But you know why I feel great about that? Because I feel connected to my teachers. We live in an area of Tennessee where parents and teachers, for the most part, we know one another. That familiarity breeds confidence. The big challenges we've seen in education over the past few years, believe it or not, trace back to a national narrative that for some reason parents and teachers don't get along, that you can't do for students and teachers at the same time. Arguably, the teachers' unions have fed into that discussion as well. They've made it look like they're on different sides of the equation, and we're not. But the challenges in Tennessee are Memphis has different concerns and problems than Nashville, than Chattanooga, than Cleveland, than Decatur, than Dayton, than Athens. Everybody's very, very nuanced in how they need to approach education. So one thing that I would like to see is, even though the state has the ability to do whatever it wants in education, the state is the sovereign entity here. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. If we will localize, if we'll allow our local school boards to run their schools, our principals to run their schools, our teachers to teach in the classroom, and we'll thin out that bureaucracy that's saddled them for so long, I think you're going to see happier teachers. Are going to think you're going to see more localized education. And if the school boards screw it up, vote them out. That's the beauty of democracy. It's the beauty of local democracy, of local accountability. But we've got to get the bureaucracy out of the mess, because when you talk to parents, they're not upset with their school or their teacher. They're upset. They talk about what the state and the federal government's doing in education. And those guys often throw tax in the road and then sit here and criticize teachers when accidents happen.
All right, you are listening to Mix 104.1, watching MixTV.tv. We're also on Talk 101.3 The Buzz. It's our debate series brought to you by Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory, Ralph and Shari. Ralph Jr. Continuing the long tradition started by his parents. On education, one more question regarding education, and that is the governor's new education funding formula. Mm-hmm. What do you make of it?
We'll see. Here's my concern, and this is one of the things I would start working on day one when we get to Nashville. Our area, Bradley, McMinn, Meigs, and Ray, should see under this new formula a greater influx of funds coming from the state. The new funding formula changes how the money follows the student. If you're a student from low income, of a minority class, a learning disability, things like that, you're going to receive more state funding into the school system to provide services for that student. The current law that dictates what local governments have to put up, a law related to maintenance of effort, is going to be a challenge. In 3 years, 5 years, our local governments are going to be saddled with, okay, now you have to provide your match. And if our areas are getting more state money, our local governments are going to have to come up with more local money. If we don't go before that hits and start making revisions and maintenance of effort in Nashville to make sure that our local governments aren't saddled with that, because the idea is really, really simple. If your area is getting more funds, likely that's coming because the population you serve is in need. And an in-need population is not very taxable when you have to come up with more local money. And we don't want local city districts, local county districts, commissions, places like that, having to be forced into a tax increase to meet the needs of education. That's the big thing looming with this funding formula. Whether or not it best serves our students in our classrooms will be seen, but we know that that beast is looming in the shadows. I concede my remaining 20 seconds to the gentleman from Cleveland.
All right.
There's a big clock on the wall. People can't see it. I can see it.
Well, they had to make it big so I could see it, but I noticed Bridget is hiding the timer from me over there with you. All right. We are, again, we're going to take a break right here and do a final segment coming up. You are listening to Mix 104.1, watching us on MixTV.tv Talk 101.3 The Buzz. This is our debate series that we've continued this morning. It is the first senatorial district, of course, encompasses Bradley, McMinn, also Meigs and Ray counties, right in our listening area on Mix 104.1. This morning, we are joined by Dr. Adam Lowe. Now, we did extend an invitation to Representative Mark Hall, but he declined our invitation. All right, a program reminder, we're going to continue this tomorrow morning with another debate. This will be for the State House District 24 Republican primary. We'll be joined by the candidates tomorrow at 8 a.m. But if you want to get a preview tonight, or you want to hear a full debate tonight with our friend Jimmy Logan, Jimmy will have the debate at 6:30 tonight with the State House candidates this evening, 6:30 at Cleveland State Community College. And that is tonight.
Yeah, and the Senate candidates we're invited as well. We'll be there, Steve.
Okay.
Well, I can't say we'll all be there, but I'll be there.
Okay, so that is tonight. The debate hosted by Jimmy Logan, and that is hosted by the Cleveland Lions Club, Bradley County Bar Association. This evening, we'll have live coverage here, Mix 104.1, also MixTV.tv. Tonight, brought to you by Rob Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory. We're back in just a moment. Serenity Funeral Homes. Convenient, caring, affordable. Cleveland's most affordable funeral home. Completely remodeled. Offering cremations as low as $5.95. Funerals, $15.95. SerenityofCleveland.com. When trust matters most.
I choose Direct Primary Care Associates because of the relationship that I've developed with my care team.
They take me directly back and start evaluating my needs.
I choose Direct Primary Care Associates because of its flexibility, and so should you.
DPCA. Practice made perfect.
Models. That's at Don Ledford Cleveland on North Lee Highway. We have no reports of any accidents this morning. Drive safely out there as you make your way in. And as always, if you see a traffic problem, give us a call. The volunteer Ridipest Mix line is 614-6499. We'll check your Mermaid Mattress Weather Center forecast coming up.
I was wondering, is the Town Squire complete men's store? Yes, it's true. The Town Squire is celebrating 40.
It's time for Bradley County to start talking about fentanyl. Did you know, in 2021, there were over 20 overdose deaths related to fentanyl in our town? ATS The Bridge is committed to educating and spreading awareness about drug abuse and bring a message of hope to our community. Our community is worth it. Even if substance abuse is the last thing to worry about with your kid, their awareness can help save a friend. For more info, visit atsthebridge.org. ATS The Bridge, speaking out against drugs, speaking up with a message of hope. Visit atsthebridge.org.
This weekend, wake up to huge savings on mattresses at Mermaid Mattress when you save up to $300 on Mermaid's 8-inch memory foam or our best-selling two-sided Lindsay Line Anniversary Queen-Size Mattress. But only at Mermaid Mattress.
Bender Realty is proud to have 3 agents who've been in real estate for over 40 years. The experts at Bender Realty don't just live here, they volunteer and contribute to the community in our area.
Our involvement in the community of who being able to reach out to, whether it's city planner, county planner, economic development committee, to help you bring new businesses into the Cleveland area. We're all involved and we're able to keep up with what's going on and what's coming into Cleveland.
If you're looking to buy, sell, lease, or rent, trust your friends at Bender Realty. 472-2173. Bender-Realty.com. Be home with Bender Realty. Wholesale Supply Group, you've heard the name for years. The experts trust them, and you should too. Whether you're building, remodeling, or just maintaining your home, Wholesale Supply Group has all the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products you need to supply any project. With great brands like Delta, Kohler, Rinnai, Mansfield, Progress Lighting, Square D, GE, and Milwaukee, Wholesale Supply has everything you need. Check out the locations in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Athens, Dayton, Madisonville, Dalton, and Chatsworth. Online, wholesalesupply.us. And remember, Wholesale Supply is open to the public.
Cleveland Tire is ready to help your auto any way it can. We're one of the largest providers of Goodyear brand tires in the area. We sell all major brand tires. We have ASE certified mechanics on staff 6 days a week. We also have a commercial truck tire center that provides 24-hour roadside service and minor mechanical repairs on site. We have built our reputation on years of quality, affordable work and tires. We pride ourselves in customer satisfaction and great service. Cleveland Tire Center.
You're watching Mix Mornings on Mix TV. Here is your current Kia of Cleveland time. And your current temperature is brought to you by Simply Bank.
Insurance? No. Direct Primary Care Associates is not insurance. We are health care. We provide everything that happens within the family medicine office at no copays, no deductibles. Come see us at directpca.com. Direct Primary Care Associates. Practice made perfect.
Solutions Finance of Tennessee, your hometown.
This is John Davis, the trade-in man for Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway, with great news. Interest rates are super low, and your old car is worth more than ever. So if you're wondering if you should be buying a new Kia, it's a no-brainer. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got $500 down and you make $2,000 a month, I'll do my best to get you approved. Come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where car buying is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Baskin-Robbins on Keith Street, locally owned by the Benton family in Cleveland for over 50 years. Within their 40 flavors of ice cream, they can build sundaes, make 40 different types of shakes, and add different ice creams to different products. You name it, they can make it for you. Enjoy Baskin-Robbins at home. Their take-home items include hand-packed quarts or pints, polar pizzas, and cakes. Baskin-Robbins, Keith Street, Cleveland. Peyton.
This Mix 1041 weather forecast is sponsored by Life Care Center of Cleveland, celebrating more than 45 years of serving the needs of the aging community. Life Care Center of Cleveland.
Quick check of the CHI Memorial Sports Desk. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox Television, and the National Nightmare is over. Joe Buck will not be doing the All-Star Game for the first time in over 20 years. Anyway, Buck has gone to ESPN. So it's Joe Davis and John Smoltz.
Okay.
So Smoltzy is going to get to work with a real announcer tonight. That'll be good. Dodger Stadium, 8 o'clock. Shane McClanahan for the Devil Rays against Clayton Kershaw. And like we said earlier, if there's a tie after 9 innings, they do a home run derby. And that is significant because the winning league has home field advantage in the World Series.
I hope it comes down to the home run derby.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
All right, so all that ESPN reports this morning, Big 12 and Pac-12 have ended their talks. They won't partner, and they're both going out of business. And we'll pick this up a little later, but SEC Media Days, our correspondent down there is Chris Goldforth, who I've already talked to this morning. Goldforth is doing a tremendous job. He's a longtime Chattanooga sports voice, and he is also the host of the Atlanta Falcons Radio Network. He's their studio host. I've known Chris a long time, and he's corresponding for us, presented by TVFCU, sponsored and powered by Cleveland Ford, Wholesale Supply Group, and Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. All right, you are listening to Mix 1041, watching us on MixTV.tv, and we're on Talk 101.3 The Buzz. And by the way, you can also listen on the Mix 1041 app download for free at mymix1041.com. This is our final portion of our debate series this morning, the State Senate, 1st Senatorial District. And this morning we are joined by Dr. Adam Lowe. Again, an editor's note. We did invite State Representative Mark Hall to be with us this morning, but he declined our invitation. All right, I want to, Adam, in our final moments here, I do want to talk about the safety of the people of the district, of this 1st Senatorial District, and how important is it to you? We know crime numbers. With growth comes, it seems like, more crime sometimes. What do you feel about this? And what, if elected state senator, where does the state legislature come on all this, do you think?
Well, the state legislature's done a fairly decent job in recent years with giving more teeth to law enforcement to do their job, both at the court level, district attorney level, and the street level. I'm thinking about like truth in sentencing. Now, if you're a victim, you have some confidence that if your assailant or your perpetrator gets convicted, that they're really going to serve that sentence. It's not just speak in a courtroom. But there are some challenges still ahead. I've had a lot of conversations with members of law enforcement, especially our deputies. And what we talk about more than anything, it's not really the job, it's what's happening at home. And a lot of them are concerned about like the consolidated retirement system. What's that look like when inflation's 10%, right? And the growth cap on that's 3%. What does that look like? Is that something that the state legislature can modify, that we can look at, we can change to try to help these folks make sure that their retirement's in a good place in the future when they get their years of service in? The big challenge for law enforcement, though, has been around our social narratives. We've run a campaign based on family values, and one of those family values we outlined early on was respect for authority. Our children learn that in the home. If my children don't respect me as a father, they're not going to respect their teachers. They're not going to respect law enforcement. We have to, at some point, get past dealing with the symptom and get back to the problem of what we're facing in society, which is we are not instilling values in a generation coming up that appreciate the work of what law enforcement does in a community, civil order. We use that phrase law and order a lot, but that's our social contract. That's the thing that keeps everything civil. And these guys show up to work every day, and they want nothing more than to have as little paperwork as possible and to make it home every night. And sometimes we miss that. So I personally think in Tennessee, let's start having a narrative around how we can get back to respecting our law enforcement.
All right. Final question. And the question is, what, in your opinion, what issue is not getting enough attention? What would you say, you know what, this, whatever it is, we're not talking enough about, we're not hearing enough about? That's the final question.
Well, there's a couple. One is when we talk about, since 2008 and the rollover of the Affordable Care Act, right? We have this issue with access and affordability in health care. And we've always had this social narrative in the media around what's government going to do about health care. In the meantime, there have been private people at work solving this problem. We've seen clinics come open. We've seen physician services, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants going out into the world creating private models of business that address a lot of this problem. And we have to fall in behind those guys because they are really the front line of creating access and affordability. And in Tennessee, we're still hampering that. In Tennessee, we still have to address school safety. This has been a national issue. It's affecting Tennessee too. Every day, my wife is disarmed by the law when she goes into her school. She's disarmed by the law in Tennessee. We have to affect how Tennessee stands on values when it comes to funding things like the pregnancy centers we discussed earlier. We have a pregnancy center locally. Their board just voted to remove state funding from their equation because it's requiring them to do things that are outside of the pregnancy model, providing services to people who think they're pregnant, people who think they're female. Right? This is happening in Tennessee. We've got to fix those things. But ultimately, one of the big things that we don't discuss enough of is just how much federalism has pushed in on the states. I'm a states' rights conservative. And if we don't have the gravitas to stand at the state line and tell no to D.C. on occasion, we're going to lose over time. We have been losing. Sometimes that's saying no to the money. We have to say no to the money because the strings that are attached do not meet the values of Tennessee. So when we're going to protect family values, it has to be the thing we measure what happens out of D.C. and how it's pushing in onto us in Tennessee.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. J. Adam Lowe, again, we're going to get a closing statement from you. So this will be a 2-minute closing statement.
Awesome. Well, listen, I just want to say thank you to Ralph Buckner. Thank you to Mix for actually having this debate of sorts. Here I am alone answering your questions, and it's fine. I've been alone before. I was alone in our crisis over the past few years in a pandemic, saying we shouldn't shut down, saying when the science was bad. I was alone in the pandemic saying that mandates were going to kill our workforce. In hindsight, we know that those things are actually so. So I've been alone before. That's fine. What I want you to know is that you're not alone. You're not alone in this community. You're not alone at the state government level, because Mike Bell was a man of the people, and I'm going to be a man of the people because I love you. My family and I live with you. My children play with your sons and daughters on ball teams and in dance classes and scout troops. We go to the same churches. We believe in the same things, the Tennessee values that undergird our society that make this such a special place. People want it. They're moving here from out of state, from New York, from California, Indiana, Illinois. Why? Because we've done something right. And what we've done right in Tennessee isn't necessarily legislation. It's the culture of who we are. It's the fact that we still believe family is the cornerstone of society. So my commitment to all of you has first and foremost been this. I'm raising young men and women in my family that will do good for this community, that will be responsible citizens, and will affect change in our world in a positive way. They're kids of faith, and they're kids of vision, and they're kids of promise. Now we take that same idea to Nashville because I want you to continue to be able to do the same. And you can't do those things unless education supports you, government supports you, and that means supporting you against federal overreach that's pushing in on the values of your family. So I ask for your vote in early voting right now and on August 4th.
All right. Adam Lowe, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. You are listening to Mix 104.1 with this reminder that tonight at 6:30, a long-time tradition in Cleveland and Bradley County will continue as Jimmy Logan, the Cleveland Lions Club since 1972, and the Bradley County Bar Association have sponsored debates and forums for years. Well, since 1972. They'll be at Cleveland State tonight at 6:30. Now, Jimmy will have the state representative 24 district candidates there tonight. Also, he is having we've done here this morning, a first district Senate debate tonight at 6:30. Again, coverage right here, Mix 104.1 Radio, MixTV.tv, and on Talk 101.3 The Buzz. All brought to you by Ralph Buckner Funeral Home and Crematory. Visit ralphbuckner.com. All right, we're going to take a break right here. When we come back, we're going to put a wrap on everything, and we're going to give you a chance to win your duck for the Mix 104.1 Great Cleveland Duck Race Friday night, August 12th, presented by Don Ledford Automotive Center. We're back in a moment.
Peyton Southeastern is hiring. If you are looking for a stable, long-term career, they have an immediate opportunity for full-time employment with advancement opportunities available. Potential to earn over $20 an hour. Apply now at jobs.kroger.com to work at Peyton Southeastern in Cleveland. That's jobs.kroger.com.
Hey, listeners, there's a new Buzz Mondays at 9 p.m. The voice of We the People. It's about what the H is going on in America. Tune in and call in Mondays at 9 on 101.3 The Buzz. A seatbelt is required for this ride.
I am Cleveland Ford. I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Cleveland.
I am Cleveland Ford.
I am Doug Beerthaler, General Manager of Cleveland Ford, and together,
we are Cleveland Ford!
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher that can offer free meal prep, including over 30 different marinades and seasonings to help you craft the perfect dinner. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
I bet he'd be great at cleaning.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything.